Hello, and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy, episode number 79. This is for the week of October 15th, 2012. My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's with me?
Brock Sager.
Omar.
Someone.
Okay.
Are you a stranger?
Well, hello, Toby.
Hello.
And who are you?
And Charlie.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Toby. Hey, Omar.
Yo.
What's happening, Brock?
Are we going to have to start introducing ourselves with, like, weird titles like this dude?
Yeah, sure.
You do the Mr. Tiefing. You do like Mr. and then your job.
Mr. Fuck
Like you be Mr. Manager of Shipping. And
I am Mr. Manager of Shipping and Receiving. I don't actually
And
receive
Comic
anything,
Conspiracy.
but I ship things. Not really.
You kind of receive part of the shipment to go through and,
This week,
I'm manager of packing.
This
That's
week
what I'm
is-
manager of.
Brock
and
to
unpacking.
receive.
Yes, he does.
And
Yeah.
unpacking.
No, he unpacks.
You unpack some of it.
Not all of it.
I've seen you unpack some of it.
I try.
So you the best packer?
Really? You going to go there?
this week is
Let's
too
go over there and
big.
I'll show you.
Already went there.
This week is too big to be wasting like 58 seconds here on bullshit. Oh my god. For the last month, we've been like, let's answer Twitter questions, and we really have nothing to say, so let's just bullshit around.
But that's just fun.
Actual, real shit happened in the comic book industry this last week. So much, in
So
fact.
let's start it. Let's
I
not
know.
spend another 58 seconds talking about how we shouldn't spend 58 seconds.
So much, in fact, it's probably going to take a couple episodes to get out everything, but we'll just start, and we'll just go. So, here we go. Last week, a bunch of comic books came out. Two big ones, Uncanny Avengers and Batman 13. We're going to talk about these guys first, because this is the start of two big things for both Marvel and DC. I figure we'll start with Uncanny Avengers, number one. Everyone got a chance to read it?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing of beauty.
This is the first of the new Marvel Now books, which came out of what happened during the whole relaunch of all the Marvel titles after AVX, which we talked... Avengers versus X-Men, which we talked about last week. Uncanny Avengers number one by Rick Remender, creator behind Uncanny X-Force and
Yes.
Secret Avengers.
Secret Avengers. He did the relaunch of Venom.
Yeah, you did Venom.
Terrible Venom book.
He's on Punisher for a while.
And John Cassaday, artist of some note.
Astonishing X.
Astonishing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that you guys bring that up. Because didn't it feel kind of like a little reunion? As a viewer, a reader, and then you see the visual...
Well,
I don't know. I still think of him for Planetary. So there.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, let's start here. So, end of Avengers versus the X-Men. I mean, the only person that lost Avengers versus X-Men were the readers, really, I think. So, the Avengers and the X-Men are still around. Everyone's still doing their thing. So, Captain America's like, well, we better fix these teams because everyone hates each other. So, let's
Yay for
have
affirmative action hires.
Yeah.
Doesn't Captain America sound kind of funny? And they're like, oh, I am Captain America. Everybody follow me. We have to fix the world. You are the one to do it.
Right. Well, it's just like Cap's like, let's merge a team of the X-Men and Avengers together. Let's get Havoc to lead it because he's the brother of Cyclops who went all apeshit crazy and almost destroyed the world. Killed thousands of people at some point off panel, I guess. I don't know who
I
died
was
in
a little
AVX,
lost on that one, too.
but whatever. But this Uncanny Avengers, Rick Remender's the man. He's one of the best writers in Marvel. I like that they got him headlining this. This is a pretty good first issue. There was some really cool stuff. I actually really liked the ending. I wish it was not spoiled by all the solicitation info for the upcoming issues, but that's not much you can do about that.
Are you talking about Red Skull or Professor Xavier?
Red Skull.
Oh.
Yeah. It's cool to see him come back as the big bad, but
But
obviously,
it begs all sorts of questions on how he's back.
well, I should also say spoilers for Uncanny Avengers and Batman 13.
Too late now.
Sorry, guys, but I mean, he's whatever. He's been on the cover of everything. I
Yeah.
mean, they've shown him on the cover of all the upcoming issues.
Uh-huh.
But
The funny thing is, I have not seen him at all on any covers. Actually, the reason why I knew he was going to be end-to-end because he told me. I actually had no idea.
I mean, he's in all the solicitation artwork for Uncanny Avengers 2 and everything like that. He's on the cover, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess Red Skull is the first big villain. But the very end of this book, Red Skull is cutting out the brain of Professor X, and he's going to use it somehow to do
To
something.
take over the world.
Hasn't this happened before?
What the Marvel
Cutting out
having...
the head of Mr. Xavier?
Specifically Xavier. I was talking with Toby about this. I swear, this sounds really familiar.
Well, Marvel likes to cut skulls open and pull brains out, so
Like, did it
that I
with-
don't doubt.
Did it with Hulk a little while ago.
Huh.
Yeah,
But, like-
don't.
Yeah,
They'd also
there's a
do
lot
that-
of stuff that happened with Xavier. I just don't feel like that happened. But
Was there an X-Men book where they specifically cut the brain out of someone? Maybe
Are you
it
talking
wasn't.
about Weapon X? When Aaron did that like crazy psychopathic Asylum. Jason Aaron did that Weapon X stuff.
No, older. I'm talking like older. It was like 70s, 80s probably. I like the sound. Like this felt so familiar, but maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
What felt funny is it kind of drew parallel with the shock factor of like Batman, which is what will lead to next. But when we started the New 52 and we were at Batman and in the end Joker's face getting taken off was kind of like a shock factor. I almost feel like it's too bad that happened already because now. Oh, how can we top that? Let's take the brain out of Xavier and show that on the last panel. It's kind of too bad they kind of paralleled each other, but it's still
but I don't know. I'm probably the only one here, evidently, who's not in love with this book.
Really? I'm sitting across from you.
Yes, but you haven't been negative enough.
Oh, come on,
will be.
Come on, pull out the negative. But no, I'm gonna at least finish the first arc. I have no I got some enjoyment out of this issue, but there were certain things that didn't play well for me, like Captain America going to Havoc to lead a team when
that worked for me.
It didn't work for me for two reasons. One, I don't like that it was immediately I need a mutant to lead this other team.
To me, it was the olive branch between look, this is a Summers, but it's not Scott. We need someone that has the face of the X-Men, but it can't be Wolverine. Obviously, Jean Grey's dead. It needs to be someone kind of related. This is his way of. This is Alex's way of sort of.
It's his way of when
fixing
things
the family
fall
name.
horribly apart, they can start going. Well, maybe he's a terrorist too.
No,
is Beast still alive?
Yeah, but he kind of distanced himself from the X-Men.
I would love it if he had made that olive branch to Beast, hands down, for having been an old Avengers.
He's an Avenger. But he's an Avenger. He's an X-Men. He would have been the perfect candidate
Beast
for that.
has never been the leader of a team, though. To
Maybe
me,
it's
Havoc.
about time.
I could see Havoc. I think Havoc has an okay place. And to me, like I was trying to say, Charlie, I think it's just a case of, well, look, a Summers brother did a terrible thing. Now we're going to put a Summers brother in charge of the most good thing on Earth that we can do. And it's sort of like redeeming the mutant name by having his brother step up and answer for the crimes of his brother.
Oh, well, I mean, you were saying it's a PR stunt, and they play it out in the book, and they play it out fine. I mean, it's, Havoc is a decent character. I mean, he's led teams before, when reading...
And gone evil a number of times.
Yeah, okay. But, which I was a little weirded out, because they say, oh, your record's clean. I'm like, Havoc's record isn't that clean.
Clean
Did Doctor Strange wipe it out and we don't know about it?
There's memory leaks in Captain America's brain.
Yeah. But I don't know. You and I talked about this, Ryan. There seemed to be like a page missing.
I don't disagree with this.
Because, they're sitting down, it's Cap, Thor, and Havoc, and they're sitting down having a conversation, and Thor's having a latte, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
I didn't really like that scene. That was kind of silly.
All of a sudden, it's like, boom, Thor, you need to go take care of this. And they're inside, and then they're outside with no real movement at all. So,
they should have established that it was right outside of them, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you see Cap. It looks like Cap and Thor are coming out from the mansion, but you don't really see a good shot of them exiting the mansion. It's just sort of like the next page, they're randomly fighting Avalanche in the middle of downtown New York. It is a weird
if there was a rumble in that last panel,
right.
And they're like, what? You kind of got this look of question on everyone's face. Then I could understand the transition, but it literally felt like there was a gap. And that for me, because I was really enjoying the beginning of it with Wolverine's eulogy and stuff like that. And, and we're getting everything together, and everything's flowing smoothly. And yes, we try to throw a joke in with the lattes, and then all of a sudden that happens, and it kind of breaks the flow of the book.
I don't know.
And then I mean, it's cool that it's like, yeah, Havoc, shoot me. And he goes flying.
No, it was a fucking fastball special. Come on, X-Men fans. What the fuck? Avengers, Captain America being thrown by...
It's only a fastball special if it's Wolverine.
And Colossus, right? But no, I don't think so. I like it when fucking Armor does it to Wolverine. I like it when Captain America gets fucking thrown by Havoc. And that was cool. And it's like something, again, you never really see. And then again, throwing the bitches. little cat fight with Rogue and fucking Scarlet Witch. That was cool as fuck. It brought me back to like the early '80s when
everybody wants to fight with Scarlet Witch right now.
Yeah,
though.
right. And Scarlet Witch is kind of cool like that. Keep her that edgy, mysterious little bitch. It's just dope like that. I like it.
Well, and I think having Scarlet Witch on the team again is sort of answering for her crimes. Right. This is her first time back in the spotlight since House of M.
This is the redemption team. That's what it is.
Yeah, with like Cap and Thor around.
Instead of calling it, Avengers Redemption, they just called it Uncanny Avengers.
Yeah.
You need picking it too much. It's fine.
Well, I mean, considering, obviously...
it's not great, but it's not bad either. I mean, I had a lot of fun reading it for once.
I do agree with that. It's not bad. I just...
Yeah, it's kind of like
most
in the
things, middle. I need the first full story arc to really judge.
Yeah, see where it goes.
The way we actually talked about this on the Infinite Long Box a little bit is it's almost like I've only watched up to the first commercial break right now.
Yeah.
But that's comic books in general.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's serialized storytelling. That's what it is, right? And another thing too, like, what is it? What is that other Marvel? Is a Marvel storyline, or was it DC when they traded off their heroes and their enemy? No, maybe it was DC. This is like in the 90s.
You're thinking of oh god, not Mutant Massacre. X Avengers.
Yes,
where where the villains attack the other heroes.
Yeah, and then you have here Red Skull with this long dialogue about mutants and how I've never really went there, and I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to use these powerful people that are already kind of like
Yeah. I kind of like how the bad mutants get their powers back, and they're like totally like taking advantage of it first second they got. They're like, my retaliate.
But he was also operated on, right? So that's why Avalanche was like kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean that was him in the very first panel. It looked like just him.
It is him in the first panel.
Him changing his kind of figuring out, augmenting his powers.
Cyclops being badass.
I didn't know
that too.
Yeah,
that's a bad guy.
I didn't know Red Skull was a surgeon. Or
he's a crazy German. He can do everything.
I don't know.
Don't you know by now?
His brain in people, so it's about time he took a brain out of somebody else.
But he doesn't have the scientist keyword, does he? In HeroClix.
Wow.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on here.
Next set.
Well, if Uncanny Avengers was maybe one of the better books Marvel's put out recently, Batman for some of us, Batman 13. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that not only is this everyone's favorite issue of Batman that's come out this year, but we're talking comic of the year contender. Am I off here?
Really?
Batman 13 is easily the best issue of the series so far. It is the scariest Joker book I've ever read.
Yeah.
It is my favorite comic I've read this year, and I am blown fucking away by this comic book. And I can't even... Scott Snyder, you are an incredible bastard. I don't know how the hell this book gets better. Literally better every single issue. It has gone nowhere but up, and it somehow takes another gigantic leap into an entire other level in this book.
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing.
Even the backup that's also written by Snyder was just so disturbing.
The backup,
twisted,
the backup was great.
Yeah.
Well, so Batman 13 is the return of the Joker after having we last saw him a year ago, apparently, which was a weird comment. In it, they say that he lost his face a year ago.
Yeah.
Which Detective Comics, I guess,
Well,
the New
number
52's been a year. That's where he got his face cut off by the doll maker. But Joker's back. And in what is maybe the greatest horror movie in a comic book I've ever seen, slowly takes out all the cops in the GCPD except for Gordon.
No, Bullock's didn't get his...
He's not really there. It's Gordon's...
all the ones who happened to be in the room with Gordon.
Right. And he's basically going back to his first crime and sort of starting over. Yeah. He kind of reboots his crime career.
But he, like true Joker way, he puts it on his head, so it's not exactly what he did, but he's sort of recreating scenes, but with a new punchline.
Right. And the punchline, again, big spoilers, but I think he knows who Batman is, because the end is him... Batman's at the Ace Chemical fighting Red Hood, who is actually Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the very end is, Alfred answering the door, and Joker is going to smash him with a hammer. And then we go into the backup, which is, the Joker basically raping Harley Quinn mentally by not touching her. The craziest, super, super... super crazy Joker backup story here.
Well, and
with him and Harley.
I said this before about the title of that backup called Tease.
Yeah.
It's like this whole issue has been just a tease, getting us really excited, and now we're like,
Well,
oh,
this is the prelude issue technically. So
And I guess for me, the thing that's just so at this point, it seems like there are no secrets from the Joker. He's pretty much attacking everybody simultaneously. It seems going after what they care about, not going after them directly, but it's like he's not trying to kill Batman. And in a weird way, it made it sound like he was trying to restore the Batman he remembers in this issue.
right.
Like he kind of feels like Batman has too much support with everybody around him, and he wants Batman to be this loner again. And
Well, like the owls in the Court of Owl, it almost feels like the crossovers. And it was the Death of the Families, right? That was called. Is going to be each character sort of being attacked by Joker in some fashion.
well, it seems like Joker's going to be going after people those characters care about. Like he's not
right.
he's not going after Batgirl directly. It seems like he's going after Batgirl's mom. He's
Right.
some of the solicitations make it seem like he's going after the circus for Nightwing, and like it's definitely not a direct attack against these different people.
Now, here's one for you, Charlie. Remind you a little bit of Hunter Zolomon,
Yeah.
Zoom, the Jeff
Oh, yeah.
Johns Zoom.
Yeah, the trying to make your hero better, but I don't see this as Joker trying to make Batman better, but
No.
trying to restore Batman to what he was.
Right. I don't think it's the same plot, but I think it's a funny.
Well, yeah, definitely. And I don't know why, but I found it really disturbing the fact that he killed people with frowns.
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, instead of the smiley face when these guys died, they had a frown face, which is like, that's kind of creepy. That's even creepier for some reason, because the Joker is always about to smile. So
Yeah, he's all about the punchline. He's all like he's almost like sharing his misery at this point.
yeah. Well,
Which
Toby, it sounded like you thought it was okay, but
Yeah.
hit me. What's
I
up?
don't know. I agree with all the points you guys made, but after Nolan's Joker, this is like a different character to me. Like.
But I don't even know that it really is that different. I mean,
I feel it is. I don't know. This if I read this comic book as like this weird little puppet person to be in there, that would have been freakier to me, rather than the Joker.
well,
He was always off screen though, yeah. So that
Yeah.
kind of made it look a little. That
Yeah,
made it a little
he was
Nolan-ish.
definitely eerie. I just like to
Yeah.
me, Joker is always more like chaos. This guy is eerie as fuck.
Well, here's the thing and I don't remember what comic creator said this, but somebody at some point sort of coined this idea of the Joker never wanting to repeat himself, wanting to reinvent himself every time he comes back. That's why sometimes he comes back very jokish. That's why sometimes he comes back very serial
cool.
killerish.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's a method actor who figures out the next persona he's going to play, and
No, that way, if you look at it, it's actually pretty cool. I mean, my
And,
favorite line
I
in
mean-
the book was when he was telling, was it Gordon that he's sleeping under his bed sometimes? So
Yeah,
like,
that's
that was-
creepy ass shit.
I know. I was
And he
like,
probably is.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, that was pretty good. But
And-
I'm not 100% sold on it yet.
And as a method actor, it also makes a little more sense why he might have his face removed
Yeah.
because he had it. It's not that Joker got attacked and had to.
No, he let it happen.
he
happen, yeah.
literally chose to have his face taken off and then to vanish for a year.
I don't know. Maybe it just hasn't sunk in yet. So I'm looking forward to the next couple issues. I'm not 100% sold on it.
I think that this Joker is encompassing a lot of the aspects that we enjoy about Joker, but we're getting an extremer version of it. I mean, he definitely has part of the Nolan Joker feel, and he also has a little bit. I mean, especially with that tease episode, the tease in the backup, it's like he has that kind of sadistic humor and that kind of just messing with your head sort of deal. But I think it's it was said before that this is the Joker. Kind of he wants his Batman back. He doesn't. He's like his Batman is the guy that he can go and he can kill his Robins. That's the Joker that's the universe that he likes. So that's why he's going after everybody. So now instead of just going after one, he's going after many. What, Charlie?
Oh, I'm just busy going. How fucked up would it be if the Joker remembers the previous universe and is trying to recreate Batman to match more the Batman from?
That would be awesome.
If anyone could do it, it'd be Joker. One of my favorite parts in Grant Morrison's Justice League run was the It was during the Rock of Ages, where
with Luthor and
Luthor and Joker get the Warlogog, which is like this crazy new gods technology thing that could basically allow them to alter time in reality. And it was Batman, Martian Manhunter, and someone else, I think, actually go into Joker's mind, and Martian Manhunter just freaks out because he's like, "This is like, you can't go into the mind of the Joker. It makes no sense. It's all crazy and convoluted, and there's so many weird errors, and things are freaking out on him, and they all kind of get trapped in his mind." And I mean, if anyone can sort of break the barrier of reality and sort of unknown fiction, I mean, it's a character like the Joker. So yeah, who knows what they're doing with this? Well, I highly recommend both of these books. Go definitely.
No,
Batman.
I do too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just not 100% sold on either of them.
Yeah.
So,
But Omar, we didn't hear. Give us your. I don't think we heard too much on your take on Batman 13.
I thought Batman 13 was solid. It was what I expected. I'm just not the biggest Capullo fan, so it's kind of like his art kind of turns me off.
Really?
Yeah, I was never a McFarlane fan either, really.
Yeah.
So it kind of just reminds me of the 90s.
Well,
in the 90s, I didn't really care for that much.
Capullo is one of those guys that I never liked or really read anything he did until Batman, and like it fits the style really well.
No, totally. I mean, it reminds me of all the Spawn days. You know, he's like McFarlane's little puppet, little buddy, little boy. You know, and now he's a badass artist.
Yeah.
So good for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he's doing his thing. Snyder is incredible. I mean, the scripting and plotting is fantastic. It doesn't matter, even if I like Eric Larson, but if like Mark Bagley was doing the art, I'd still be buying the book just because of the plotting.
I can't see him drawing scary enough for this book.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man's scary. A plus X is scary.
Well, like Jock did a great job with that.
The backup.
Jock is incredible.
Yeah.
Jock is fucking. He's awesome.
You know, but I mean, Jock did a lot of some of the stuff from the Black Mirror, and I think that it just depends on the story that you're telling. And I mean, the creative team of Snyder and Capullo is just great. So I mean,
That's all right.
You know, Capullo.
There's nothing wrong with Snyder. Capullo kind of sucks ass.
Like I can't get behind Jay Lee artwork, but I'm actually enjoying the his Ozymandias before Watchmen work for some reason. But I'm not,
because it reminds you of Jock, because Jock was influenced by Jay Lee.
Yeah, it's totally the same style.
Yeah.
It's similar, but Jock does it better.
Jock? No, I can't disagree with that. Jock's fucking awesome.
He is. Well, so there's New York Comic Cons last weekend. Crazy.
You know, we should send a representative one of these years.
TV show, all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna just go pick random, and we're gonna talk about. Okay, these are just we have so much to talk about.
Random, just go.
No, I did. I totally just closed my eyes, picked one at random, and this is how super random it is. Ant-Man movie gets a release date. Everyone's happy about this, right? Like we're seriously gonna record
after the Avengers.
Yeah, we're gonna seriously record like 2 episodes worth of stuff between this week and next week. So if we don't get to something important, we're going to talk about it next week. So don't mind us. Avengers coming out May 1st, right? 2015 for Avengers number 2. They gave Ant-Man, which had been long in development by Edgar Wright, to come out. It's officially coming out. What do we got? November 6th, 2015. So that's a bit of a wait, but this is definitely Marvel trying to do. I think they're B movies, right? You have Avengers and your Iron Mans, your tentpole films, and then you have your lower quote unquote budget, and I could totally see this being the start of those.
They've been doing really good with the movies and stuff. So it's like with the TV show, Shield TV show coming out, you know, hopefully. And it's like they're doing a lot of stuff, so they're really kind of building this world. But to build this world, you can't have, like you said, you can't have all those top tier books. You have to have something that is, you know, that might catch somebody's interest. Like, I don't know, did all of you watch the Item 47?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I thought it was great. It was a nice little one-shot thing that they did, you know, to kind of tie the movie into possibly, you know, the Shield TV show or just to, you know, the universe as a whole. So it's nice to kind of have those side things that can come in later.
Well, that's actually sort of my thought process with Avengers 2 is so the Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, all that was sort of the precursor, the establishing the world to jump on. Like, if they came out with the Avengers first, it would not have done the numbers it did.
Yeah.
So now I kind of have a feeling with Avengers 2, it's going to be its job to sort of keep the excitement level for the universe. And I'd be willing to put money down that we'd see something with Ant-Man in Avengers 2 to get people hyped for it after.
I don't know, because the way it's described here, Edgar Wright describes it as, quote-unquote, essentially a high-tech spy heist film with someone with a very particular power, with a level of comedy on par with that of Iron Man. So definitely kind of fun adventure spy film. But to me, I don't think we're getting Ant-Man and Avengers. I mean, I think this is just going to come out.
Not even as a little teaser at the end.
Well, maybe like after the credits or something.
Yeah, or cameo as Hank Pym.
Maybe, but to me, I think Marvel's going to have a few of these sort of mid-tier movies come out in between the bigger ones. You know, you can do these $50 million, $100 million movies in between the giant blockbusters.
If this had been an announcement for like Moon Knight or somebody who I very closely associate Ant-Man with the Avengers.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
I always
that's true.
have.
That's true.
So,
well, the Ant-Man could be like a Blade thing where they just kind of take and do whatever they want with it, you know, with some liberty. And we might get something really special out of it.
Yeah.
Or Natasha might have to show up and have a conversation with him.
There very well could be some cameo stuff, but I'm not quite sure.
Blade's a solid movie.
Blade's a very good movie.
Standalone.
Yeah. But again, if this was a new Blade movie, I would not be predicting him in the Avengers.
Yeah.
All right, here's one that I just saw. I haven't seen this before, Toby. I'm wondering if you saw this. Expendables 2 co-writer to pen Masters of the Universe script. You seen this?
Nah.
No, don't care?
No.
You're He-Man.
Yeah, I want to do He-Man.
He-Man live action?
I'll just put it out there, so I hate anybody that's attached to it till one day that I get to do it one day. So
You heard it here first.
Okay.
Toby wants to do He-Man.
Yes, literally.
Well, for me, it's a script.
Yeah.
People do
Yeah,
scripts all
Hollywood
the
has
time.
so many scripts floating
They've
around.
been talking about the He-Man movie since they launched the new toy line, which was in like the 2000s.
Right.
They talked about the He-Man movie when they launched the classics line. They talked about the damn He-Man movie whenever fans are asking for specific figures. They go, well, in the movie year, we're going to put these motherfucking figures out. I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers, no, you're not. So
I'm sorry, but there's nothing that's going to top the level of standards that has already been created with Masters of the Universe on the same level as Howard the Duck.
Oh, fuck you.
Hey,
We're going out to talk about this.
It's just getting a Blu-ray release.
There you go.
It is.
Howard the Duck?
No, He-Man is.
Oh, nice.
With Dolph Lundgren.
Anniversary.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
The
Courtney
date
Cox
is,
is
I'm
in
actually
that.
kind of excited about that.
yeah, there's a
one.
date.
That was
there's
a fun
film
movie.
called He-Man. Yeah, I don't know about that, bro. Maybe Triple X version.
Whatever.
All right, well, let's move on to some comic book news here. Since we're talking about the Marvel movies, might as well go into the what is probably maybe got the most reaction from fans over the weekend at the New York Comic Con. That is a Agent Coulson
Campaign.
R.I.P. Agent Coulson from Avengers.
Agent Coulson lives.
But apparently, he may not be dead anymore. Agent Coulson announced as the first, he was like the first cast for the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show.
For the pilot is what they've specifically said so far.
Oh, really?
Well, the actor who played him, I think, was on a panel and he said, "Haven't you heard of a life model decoy?"
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
Yeah, but he threw a
all
lot of
that
shit out,
stuff
too.
has been...
Clark Gregg is the actor that plays Agent Coulson in Avengers. He's going to be in the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. I have a feeling he's going to be in the show as a permanent member. I think he's going to be the movie link. I mean, everyone said they wanted to see cameos. I think they could go two ways with this. One, they could say, "Oh, life model decoy," which for people that don't know, that's a common S.H.I.E.L.D. Fake human that basically runs around and pretends to be Nick Fury and
clone.
stuff, right? But
So do you think the Agent Coulson on the show is going to be the life model decoy, or do you think the one who died is the life model decoy?
I think they're going to go with the Vision route. I think they're going to make him into some sort of cyborg / hologram / life model decoy that becomes Vision. I think those early shots that we saw of him, that Vision, that like Agent Coulson Vision thing, I think that's real. And I really think that we're going to see him in Avengers 2 as Vision. I'll go out on a limb here. I think that's where they're going with this.
Yeah, he's
be
so
cool.
popular. That would be a mistake if they didn't take advantage of that.
Well, and Whedon didn't want to kill him.
Yeah. And this is a great way around it. I think it'd be a great way to, the whole Vision thing in the comics works. I just don't know that it would translate so well into TV, especially with a character like Ant-Man or Hank Pym kind of being off. I would assume kind of doing his own thing and not being in the Avengers movies.
See, that's how they're going to have his cameo.
Have him create Vision. They could have him in the TV show create a Vision. Sure. I mean, I don't, as an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
there's
possible.
There's a lot of stuff that, Coulson was supposed to be responsible for taking care of Phase 2, which, that's a big thing that's coming up that they're pitching is this Phase 2. So.
Well, Phase 2 is the second batch of Marvel movies. Yeah. I mean, that's just the new movies.
Yeah, but in the actual film, they used Phase 2 when they're talking about all the weaponry and stuff, which is what Item 47 also leads into as well.
I think that was just more stuff in the... I don't remember anything about that, but it's possible.
Cool story, Brock.
Yeah.
Really? Nice.
No, but I like the campaign they had in New York, though. Supposedly there was like bumper stickers on the floor and on walls saying Agent Coulson lives.
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
I totally want one of those.
Yeah.
Because he's great. Cool. I mean, he's the human character in these movies that I think, even though they played him off as kind of just a minor character in the early movies, he got a little bit more screen time as they went on. And then Avengers, clearly he had a lot of screen time, and it was very, very integral to the plot of the movie. So
he was a good character to bring people into the universe, to ground it.
This is here, Joss Whedon. He's headlining the S.H.I.E.L.D. show and always was. To me, he's the main cast member, or he's a major cast member, not just the pilot. I think it'd be a little fucked up if they threw him in the pilot and then that was it. No, I think he's going to be the major character in the show, which is good. But it sounds like...
I was also going to say Colby Smulders is going to be a main cast member, too. Being a TV actress, she's
not.
Really?
And that's what they announced, is she's not going to be in the show.
Huh.
So apparently not at all, which is really weird.
That's really bizarre, especially with How I Met Your Mother's ending. So I kind of figured that'd be like the perfect...
Did they make that official yet?
I thought they did, but it would be a perfect segue. Something different, something
I'd be pissed
completely...
if follows her, too, that I just had fucking as little screen time as I did in the film. So, whatever.
I mean, I could be wrong.
Maria Hill's she should have been more
Maria
prominent.
Hill. I couldn't think of her character name.
Yeah.
I think I read over the weekend that she's not going to be in the show, but maybe it'll be a cameo or maybe something small. So
maybe she'll be in the finale.
Or maybe she'll just die in the first 5 minutes.
Right. Michelle Rodriguez will be better than Maria
and
Hill
then
anyways.
how many people would start bitching and moaning? They killed Maria Hill in 5 minutes.
Well, Hill's been such a big character. She's been such a big character in the comics that I think they would keep her around.
But in Secret Wars, she totally looks like Angelina Jolie, though. And the one that's painted, Secret Wars.
The one from a handful of years ago?
Yeah, where the dude painted she totally looks like Angelina Jolie in that one.
Probably based her off that.
Bring in some younger chicks. Who would be casted for Victoria Hand?
Secret Wars is different.
Yeah.
That's Jazz Hands, right?
Jazz.
All right, we got...
I don't know which one it was. That's why I keep saying the one that was painted.
There's two. Right, Secret Wars.
Well, there was Secret Wars, and then Secret Wars 2, which are old events.
Yeah, and then the
Secret War.
Yeah, Secret War.
The Nick Fury shit.
Yeah, the Nick Fury
stuff.
stuff. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Who do we want to piss off next? Do we want to piss off everyone but Brock? Do we want to piss off Charlie? Or do we want to piss off me and Brock? Let's piss off...
Most people are going to go with piss off Brock.
Let's piss off me and Brock real quick here. DC Comics canceled Blue Beetle, Grifter, Legion, Lost, and...
Wow, I totally thought this was going to be about something else.
And Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And Frankenstein.
Oh, we'll get there.
I think Blue Beetle no one cares about. I think Grifter mostly no one cares about.
Well, here's the funny thing. I actually kind of like the Blue Beetle now because of the Young Justice cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's kind of cool now.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
He's cool, just the comic book's not very good.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Legion Lost, in my mind, was the superior of the two Legion books. Me and Brock were talking earlier. I really hope to have Legion Lost as a backup. I'd pay $3.99 for a two-story Legion book, absolutely. But Frankenstein... No.
Yeah, a lot of people were pissed about it.
So good.
Yes, it was.
But like Resurrection Man, I mean, how long can these books really last? DC's quick to cut. I get it. I'm fine with it. I'm glad we had them.
They're quick to cut the really bad stuff, but some of the stuff that's like on the fence, they're a little too quick to cut.
But it depends what they want. They can move Frankenstein in the Justice League Dark. They can easily roll these characters into some other title. They can have like a full-on second horror book next to Justice League Dark, another team. As it's clear team books sell, as both Marvel and DC have proven.
To me, it's kind of weird because your natural reaction is always, no, they're canceling these books. But I'm not sure any of the cancellations have really shelved any of these characters except for like the military books.
Right. No, but they've all shown up other places.
Well, yeah, that's sort of my point is it's like, oh, well, this character is no longer going to have his own book. And like even with Grifter, he's already on Team 7.
Right.
Well,
And the Grifter in Team 7 is far fucking cooler in the way I remembered him to be.
You know they'll throw Blue Beetle in Teen Titans. The Legion lost characters will just come back to Legion. Frankenstein will end up in another Vertigo Dark book. I mean, they're not dumb.
well, I mean, he's already crossing over with the Rot World stuff right now.
Which is why I'm a little surprised that they
they're
axed
canceling
it
it.
right after they have a big...
There's your new book. It's sort of like this, Animal Man, Swamp Thing, and then the rest of the Rot World guys thrown together as another team. Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Yeah.
So, what can you do? New wave of cancellations. But they did announce, totally can't remember the name of the book, but that one guy is totally doing a space book, and it's going to be great because it's a space guy and it's that one guy, but I totally can't remember anything about it.
Is it
That's some
Threshold?
terrible name. Threshold, yeah, that's what it is. Stupid name. I have no idea what they're doing. What they're doing with this. It was one of the new books they announced. It was Keith Giffen is doing Threshold. It's a new title. It's a DC's space title, so it's gonna have fucking Space Cabbie in it. Oh yeah, Space Cabbie. Omar, you know Space Cabbie?
I don't know. Was he in Rebels?
Did he show up in Rebels? I don't think so.
Because that was a fucking incredible book.
But Space Cabbie's awesome. And we're supposed to get some Adam Strangelove, so hells yeah. And he likes those space guys, so that's cool. What if I was going to say that it was going to piss Brock off?
I was assuming the
Frankenstein?
Guardians of the Galaxy Nova...
You know what?
You and me.
I hadn't even put that on this. I hadn't even put this on this episode to talk about because I figured that we'll get like a much larger segment next week. So let's save that for next week. Let's save that because we got so much more stuff to talk about here.
Okay.
Before we run out of time. But let's piss everyone off here at the table except for Brock.
Everyone
Okay.
must die.
Cartoon Network abruptly pulls DC Nation from October lineup. I'm sorry. October and November and December lineup.
Can I just say what my Saturday morning was like? I went downstairs with my cereal, my puppy who just got neutered, and we were both looking for... This is our time where we get to like bond and watch our DC Nation. Fucking How to Train Your Dragon came on.
Hey, no disrespecting Chris Sanders.
But it was a rerun also.
Whatever. It was like fucking 2 episodes of
Even
that
worse.
shit, too. It even
Not
had
only
the
did we
title.
place, we put a rerun on it.
Like, it had the title, the record. I was like so excited, amped, ready to turn it on, see if, Kaldor really is flipping the script right now and playing with Nightwing's head. Oh, shit. I see flying dragons around. Fuck.
Did you actually check to see if your cable box was broken?
No, I didn't.
As far as I can tell, and I talked to a lot of people who are big fans of these shows, like 6 a.m. East Coast time on Saturday, that shit was still going to be played. And suddenly, for some reason, Cartoon Network pulled Green Lantern, Young Justice, and all the shorts randomly, like in the middle of the morning for no reason, hours before these episodes are going to air. And then there's dead silence from DC and Cartoon Network all weekend. And all of a sudden they're like, they'll be back in new episodes in January. Hooray. What? January? We got 2 new episodes.
Yeah.
And then they pulled it for 3 months?
Well,
What the hell?
if you remember Young Justice, it was kind of a similar thing. They played like 6 straight, nothing, random 1, nothing.
Yeah, right.
And then
2.
they advertised the second half of the season as season 2, which
Right.
it wasn't season 2.
Still
It was like,
well, then they start Invasion the week after the previous episode.
yeah.
Like Cartoon Network. If you what is wrong with you? Seriously, if anyone listening knows anyone at Cartoon Network, be like, what is your fucking problem? Why? This is why people hate you. This is why cartoons fail. It's not because of fucking toys. It's because you get jerked around so often. Like, this is how you kill. I mean, if that's what they want, I would love it if DC was like, we out. CW, you're showing all our shows from now on, Saturday morning. I mean, they can do whatever the hell they want at CW, apparently. Because CW has no... Like, the show can sell, 5 copies or whatever, and apparently they don't cancel it. So, like... Cartoon Network, you're terrible. You are terrible.
Well, it's like
You've been terrible for a decade. You're still terrible.
I'm mad too. Fuck you, Cartoon Network.
I had actually gotten up on Saturday morning and I was looking at my Twitter feed and it was like exploding with all of these people that were what the fuck is going on? And I distinctly remember like somebody took a picture of their son.
No. It was more than that.
Yeah.
One guy did it, and he actually wrote, and then it became like almost like a meme. Like you see a bunch of pictures with all these kids that were fucking almost look like they're crying and shit.
Yeah, it was great.
And I'm sitting there going, I'm like, this is what Cartoon Network is doing to the youth of America? Fucking asshole.
It's ridiculous. Like, what in the world are they thinking? I mean, so many shows got jerked around. They announced they're bringing back Toonami, and they bring back the anime, and it's like, but it's like repeats, and I mean, like 1 or 2 new shows, but and it's on at 4 a.m. Well, I mean, at least it's there. And then they show all this. DC Nation, we're gonna have all these new episodes. New shorts every week. Except we're just going to repeat the same 3 shorts over and over again. And then Young Justice, we're going to jerk around. And then Green Lantern, we're going to not show the second season. But here's 2 episodes, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, also, I don't think it's any secret now either that they're done with those 2 shows, too.
They're done.
Yeah, which is lame on its own. So it's like they almost don't care anymore. They're like...
Well, but that's the thing that weirds me out, is they're not... So, yes, it seems that they're done with Green Lantern and Young Justice when they finish airing these. But it's not like they're done with DC Nation. They still have the
Batman and the New Justice League.
I hope DC pulls them off Cartoon Network and be like, nope, we'll go someplace else. We'll put them on CW. We'll put them on another channel.
Yeah, they should be
ridiculous.
They should be putting them on the CW. I mean, because that's Warner Brothers. Boom, done.
Well,
so is Cartoon Network, man.
Well, Cartoon Network is owned by MTV. Is MTV owned by Warner Brothers?
I know Cartoon Network is Warner Brothers. I don't know.
Is it?
Beyond that.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's part of MTV. I think Cartoon Network's part of MTV. I didn't think... It might be. I don't know. That's even worse if that's the case. It's your own fucking network.
Yeah.
That's like sitting on your hand and then
what you expect from the guys that they jerk around by buying a $50 hardcover of Flash and they go fuck around with pages on you.
Yeah, I don't recall. I'd throw those away today. So, oh my God. Cartoon Network, what are you doing? Could the last episode of Young Justice... Oh my God, it was so good.
It was very, very
good. And Green Lantern has been so good.
Yeah. It's really sad. It's almost like, they pulled the plug far too fast because I actually really wanted to see more of both shows.
Yeah.
See, I wonder in terms of sales and stuff, what would actually happen if they just put out the remainder of that stuff as, just direct to DVD.
Apparently, at least Young Justice, I think, is on iTunes.
It continues?
The new episode, 1 episode. I think the new episode, I heard someone say that they found it on iTunes. You know what? We're just going to be like, Cartoon Network, you're terrible. I'm going to go download the Canadian versions. Because I'm sure they've already shown the whole show up there. And in Australia, because this is what they do all the time.
Well, that's what they did with season 1. Because I remember distinctly, I watched it ahead of time. And Charlie was like, what are you talking about? It hasn't aired yet. I'm like, oh, oops.
Yeah, no, and they showed all, like a bunch of the episodes of Brave and the Bold, as well as the band
Birds of Prey
episode. They showed that there. Teen Titans, I used to always end up torrenting the Australian version or something when that was on because they would get it so far in advance. Justice League Unlimited, same thing. So it's like, Cartoon Network, you're fucking awful.
So you guys always rag on me to watch these cartoons. I think this is the reason why I don't.
But you can get them. They're all on DVD and everything.
It's nice to see you smile though, Ginger.
He's happy. Yeah. He's happy.
I literally Saturday morning I laughed because I knew all of you fools were going no.
Ryan's the one who actually broke the news to me.
Did you cry?
A little bit.
Did you say I was the one that broke the news to me?
No, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan. I was hey, Charlie, let me sit you down today.
I sent him terrible texts, and I'm like, what is wrong?
We were sad for one day, though, right?
What?
Because on Sunday, I mean...
well, here. Let's end. See, we got two more things.
Go from that to that.
Hold on, we got 2 more things to talk about.
Because it's viewing pleasure.
Let's continue our sadness, and then we'll end on a good note. Okay. We'll continue our sadness, and we'll end on a good note here. I mean, we've still got so much stuff we haven't talked about, but we'll get to all the rest of the stuff next week, freaking Snyder and Jim Lee's Superman, all the other news from Con. We'll talk. But let's go sad. Charlie, I heard you were sad I heard you were sad over the weekend because Amazing Spider-Man is no longer going to be called Amazing Spider-Man, and Peter Parker is no longer going to be Spider-Man, and it's getting relaunched. And I heard
Spider-Man.
But I heard Dan Slott is the Antichrist.
Sort of, yeah.
So let's hear the story.
Dan Slott went on record within his panel, and I mean, he's enjoying the hatred he's getting, which is kind of refreshing in a way. But he kind of went on the record saying that, okay, so Amazing Spider-Man's ending. They're launching Superior Spider-Man. Spider-Man's
terrible
not
name.
going to be Peter Parker. And Spider-Man and Mary Jane are going to hook up again. But again, it's not Peter Parker.
Spider-Man and Mary Jane.
Yeah, someone shagging Mary Jane. It's not Peter.
Well, we got two things here. First, Charlie, you had it while we were earlier before recording. You had an amazing thing, and we'll hit that in a second. But the first thing, which I thought was really weird, if you look at that Spider-Man cover, I think that's number 2, where he's like kissing Mary Jane. Like Mary Jane's like, "What are you doing?" Like pulling away from him. Spider-Man's getting a little touchy-feely there.
Aggressive.
But you had a great idea, and let's hear it. What was your great idea? And I think you nailed it. I think you solved it.
So there's all sorts of build up to what's going to happen with this final arc of Amazing Spider-Man, and
298 is the shit.
298. Dan Slott keeps tweeting, "Nobody's ordered enough. Nobody's ordered enough," and the cover itself makes it seem like Doc Ock knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So I'm pretty sure what's going to end up happening in these last couple of issues is Peter's going to get like fully outed to the world again, and is pretty much going to either have to fake his death or do one of the other billions of different ways where he can still protect his family members by not being in the public eye as Spider-Man, and is going to basically pull the, okay, now that I'm officially dead, I'll become Ben Reilly, or I'll become somebody else. Ben Reilly would be really easy for him to actually do.
Yeah.
But isn't Peter Parker in Superior Spider-Man?
Well, I think they said Peter Parker was still going to show up in the book. So that's why I'm wondering if they're going to pull like a Daredevil of him being like, "Oh, I'm not Spider-Man. I'm not Daredevil. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm just going to walk around. I'm just Peter Parker. Look, there's Spider-Man right next to me doing Spider-Man things." But I think Charlie's on the money here. I think whether something happens, whether he gets cloned or split in half or fakes his death and he's running around as Peter Parker one day, Spider-Man at night, but he's not the same guy, quote unquote, whether he dyes his hair or whether he throws on a little...
Did he swallow the Venom symbiote? I mean,
I hope not.
He can change his hair color now.
Jeez.
So he's gonna have black jizz?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
You're going to get random,
he'll just hire one of his clones to play Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Well,
you know what? You know where I read this? Oh, that's right. When they were doing that Batman Incorporated stuff. I remember that.
Well, Dan Slott is enjoying the hate far too much, as Charlie says, and I really do think he has something up his sleeve.
Oh, of course.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean,
He's like retweeting everything. He's totally enjoying it. So something is up. Something is up.
not to... Dan Slott has been a good Spider-Man writer. I have enjoyed reading the books. It's not necessarily the most groundbreaking Spider-Man books that I've ever read, but I've enjoyed them, and that's all I really ask for in my comics. So I don't think he would be burning down the bridges without some...
You mean pulling a Quesada?
How many?
Well, but I mean, even then, I have never seen a creator push a book as hard as Slott's been pushing Amazing Spider-Man 698 and 700. I mean, he's been constantly pushing these books, like pretty much saying, "No, you guys need to get." So I don't see why he would be like pushing all these books and then being like, "And then I'm gonna burn the fucking place down."
But you could also push your book, and then it bombs even worse.
And I'm not saying that there isn't that risk, but I'm just going based on he's talked up particular events, but I've never seen him go this route before. I've never seen I've seen creators
He's
going...
like doing his own publicity at this point on Twitter. He's like campaigning for his own damn book.
Yeah, I don't remember which which issue of Spider-Man it was. It was in the last 2 or 3 issues. They actually mention the whole, I have to be careful with my identity because the spell Doctor Strange put over the world, if anyone remembers if anyone finds out Peter Parker is Spider-Man, they remember everything because Doctor Strange magically erased Peter Parker from the world.
And they already established that
Doctor Strange.
At the end of Spider Island, I think it was the end of Spider Island, they also established that Peter had weakened the spell because of his actions within that book. So, yeah.
And it's I mean, it has been, two people recently have known that he's Spider-Man.
The cop girlfriend.
Well, not only that, I mean, Hobgoblin in the most recent issue, and then at least you're led to believe Hobgoblin, and then again, it seems like
that's the story I actually like to see. It's like this spell being broken, everybody remembers. It's like, oh shit!
I'm assuming that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, so actually, that's kind of cool.
And there goes Peter into hiding, or he gets Ben Reilly to run around, or Kane or something. Oh, actually, one thing about this, Toby, and this is going to piss you off. I think we lost Ryan Stegman to Amazing Spider-Man because he's one of the rotating artists on it. So that means he's off.
Scarlet
Spidey.
It's gone to shit,
which has been good. Scarlet's been really good.
Scarlet Spidey's been awesome.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. So
are we still getting Amazing, or are we just getting Superior?
No, Amazing is done at 700.
Okay,
for now. And then Superior.
Until they rename
and then Superior. Then Superior will hit like issue 24, and they'll start having both numbers on the covers.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Well, let's end with some positive notes here. How about that? The little show came out this week. I'm assuming this is what you're talking about. A little show about zombies.
Yes.
Omar. Okay.
Yes.
Little show.
I can't think of anything else about Sunday.
A little show started the other day. A couple guys may have watched it. It's called Walking Dead, season 3,
only
episode 1.
Guys. Only a handful.
Yeah, only a handful, right?
Only a handful.
Only a handful that's more than The Voice. Or the people that watch The Voice.
Yeah, only a handful meaning 15 million viewers.
15 million viewers?
About between two showings.
10.9 for the first telecast, which is unheard of, and which is 50% over last year's premiere. Yeah. It's a 5.8 rating for the 18 to 49 demo, which is higher than anything else in recent time. I mean, they say like outside of sports, because sports, football's on its own fucking world. I mean, you can't do anything about that. And this is without Dish Network.
That was funny. I love all the commercials. Oh, you're not on Dish? Oh, sorry, we don't have Walking Dead. That was hilarious.
I just find it funny that all those commercials air on the network Dish doesn't get, so no Dish customers can actually see them.
Yeah.
Walking Dead was already the most successful, and this is off Entertainment Weekly, Walking Dead was already the most successful basic cable drama of all time in the adult demographics. Last night it was up more than 50% from season 2. If you include
the season 2 premiere.
Right. If you include the Walking Dead Encore, which is common habit for cable networks, the total number rises to 15.2 million viewers, which blows everything else on TV currently out of the water.
Yeah, but
which is amazing.
The only point I'd say there is it doesn't mean that the second showing got 5 million new viewers. It just means 5 million people watched the second showing.
Sure, it could have been the same people watching it again.
I was one of them. I watched it twice. I watched it twice.
Did you really?
Yeah, of course I did.
Nice.
And that's just sort of, I'm not bad mouthing the numbers. I'm just saying that's sort of the difference with the first showing plus Encore is the fact that when you add
10.9 blows everything else out of the water too.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm more impressed with that than I am when you total them together, just because that I will be the first to admit I pay a lot of attention to TV ratings because I like kind of being able to go, yeah, that show's done. I really don't need to catch up on it, or no, that show's doing well, so I should probably
It's your fault. You just see. I just watch shit. I follow comic book sales so strongly. TV shows, movies I follow a little bit as well, but not nearly as much as comic books. TV shows I could care less. I watch what I watch, and I don't care.
Well, that's why Young Justice is done. It's all your fault.
No, because I actually watch it. Charlie doesn't watch it. If the ratings are bad, he won't watch it, and that's what causes shows to fail.
What ends up happening a lot of times is I set up a season pass on my TiVo.
Yeah.
And then I end up with like 5 episodes or something on my TiVo that I haven't gotten around to watching. And
dude, I have like 30 episodes of Point of Interest on my TiVo right now.
And
Person of Interest.
Person of Interest.
That show rocks.
That's kind of my point. A lot of times when I'm paying attention to the ratings, I'll delete the show that I have 5 of or 10 of, if I'm like, yeah, that show's done, and most of the time when that
Once
stuff
Upon a
happens,
Time?
Once Upon a Time's fine right now. It's got good ratings.
Well, it's better now, but it was really horrible.
But the fact of the matter is I don't necessarily feel like I need to watch, even though I did watch all of Alcatraz. That would be a good example of one that once it was clear the show was going to end and you weren't going to really get any kind of complete story from it,
Charlie
I don't
saved me on that
necessarily
one.
need to.
Yeah. I've liked Alcatraz. I still have the last episode to watch, but it's been okay. It's just kind of
Well, yeah, as I said,
hasn't gone anywhere.
I watched all of it. I enjoyed it, but yeah, it's something I knew going into like the last episode. It was going to be another one of those where. But as I said, I've literally deleted shows off my TiVo that I was behind on because I realized I was not going to be satisfied with the way the show goes. So.
Well, let's talk some plot here. And Toby and Toby and Brock. I'm sorry. I hope you guys are.
I hope you've read the comic book.
We'll keep.
I've read the comic.
A little spoiler free as much as we can here.
I promise nothing.
There was a lot of complaints last season of, the show's slow. There's not enough zombies.
That's bullshit, man.
It is bullshit. It is, but total bullshit. Right? Who gives a fuck?
Fucking Walking Dead.
Right, it was
like
amazing.
A human story.
Right. But
How evil
this
can
was,
you be?
this was a complaint, right? This was a complaint that a lot of people had last season. Despite record-breaking viewers, people still bitched about it. They answered big time in this episode.
I mean, I felt like it was almost over.
It almost was
so
overkill.
Bad. My dog was like all looking away.
They must have
over
killed straight up shown deaths of like 80 to 100 zombies in that episode. It was crazy.
In every single possible way to get to the brain.
Yeah.
Malay style.
Yeah. Crowbars into the eye, chopping heads off, fucking Michonne chopping tons of heads off.
And I love the fact that the zombie heads were still alive because he hadn't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, and did you see the sword play, though? Even the way Michonne was actually handling a fucking katana, she looked so legit. And damn, that chick is hot. I watched on a Talking Dead afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
She looks damn good.
So I mean, they're killing zombies left and right. They're especially when I had a little bit of a video game moment when suddenly they're like, "Oh, here come the zombies! Oh shit! Now here comes the zombies in the body armor! Oh no!" Like it's kind of like
that was kind of funny.
How do we get around this? Right? But
do you like how also the guy, the zombie was trying to eat?
Yeah, but he couldn't. He had the face mask. Yeah. But that was a pretty funny kind of like, I definitely had that sort of video game like, oh shit, these are the hardcore zombies. It took a step up, but it made sense. They were like prison guards and everything. But man, they were like, oh, quick, we can rip out their mask and stab them through the chin, stab a knife into their brain. Awesome. But man, they didn't. And then all the scenes when they're actually in the jail trying to. That was
so
crazy.
Fucking like Silent Hill.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny.
Resident Evil.
Did they do the basketball court scene?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because I don't.
They have to have been in there a little while before they could do that. Plus,
I don't want to.
Tyrone, that's his name, isn't on the show at this point, so I don't know who they do it with.
I don't want to say that it reminded me a lot of Batman number 13, but definitely that hallways with something sinister lurking down the end. Like, it had a little bit of a similar feel to it. So, and especially once the zombies come fucking chasing after him. Now, I'm fine with the rest of the season being zombie light. I mean, we got the stuff with the governor. They got to set up, they got the inmates inside the prison they got to deal with. So they got all this other stuff to deal with. I'm fine with a little less zombie action going forward. But for everyone that was complaining, this is your payback.
That's okay.
It was amazing. It was
I still
great.
have one complaint.
In this episode?
And we've already talked about it.
What's that? The video game
Why the
zombies?
fuck don't you walk around stabbing everything in the head?
Yeah. So again, big spoilers, but Herschel gets a little leg chomp.
That didn't bother me because of the time and all that. But before that, there's all sorts of scenes where they're like going like, is he a zombie or is he just? I'm just like, just fucking stab him in the head.
Yeah, well, you can kind of imagine, like, he's thinking, he's worrying about his daughter, right? He's like,
yeah.
As I said,
like,
that's why
guy.
that part didn't bother me.
Yeah,
but tons of times before that, they're like carefully stepping over these bodies. I'm like,
stupid.
Why the hell are you carefully stepping over?
This is why they need to administer drugs to people who watch these shows so that you can like get into the heightened state that these actors are in. Yeah. So when you're watching, be like, are they real? Is poke him, see if he's alive.
In the comic book, who got his leg cut off like that? By
it was Herschel.
It was Herschel?
I believe so.
The only leg I remember getting cut off specifically was a character who's already dead.
Oh,
now. But what was his name? The guy with the RV. God,
Yeah.
my brain.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, I'm saying it's Dale. It's not Dale.
Dale.
Oh, it is Dale. Yeah.
Dale. I remember in the comic because he got bit and was keeping it a secret, so they cut off the leg to try and stop the. That's the only one like that I remember.
But I mean, again, crazy. Like the most graphic I've seen Walking Dead get was the one where they cut open the zombies and like smeared the zombie guts all
that
over
was
them,
nasty.
which was
No, the most graphic I remember was Dale's death, where they showed the like zombies reaching in and pulling out his gun.
I guess. But this
Even the ligament of Herschel, poor Herschel. He's that guy just took a nice bite. It was like all coming out like a pizza party. It was disgusting. It was like.
But this was
all coming out like a pizza party.
but this
It was
was
a Pizza the Hut.
but Jesus.
Pizza the Hut.
But this was straight up them taking a hatchet to Herschel's leg, and it was like, whoa, and they weren't shy about showing it either. So good on AMC too for not backing down from some of the violence, because there was a little bit of kind of CG. Okay, these heads look a little fake, but it's like
the blood too, the blood splat,
whatever.
Little ninja assassin.
That's always, but it's like I'm fine with that. I mean, you're on a TV budget. There is limits kind of to what you can do, but I mean, this is the thing.
It doesn't really show though.
No, I was fine with.
Well, I think that I haven't actually. I watched season 1. I haven't gotten a chance to watch my DVD copy of season 2.
You're terrible.
I know I'm terrible, but I don't have the problem of commercial fast forward and all that crap, and I get to enjoy a whole bunch of it at one time. But I think that
a year
reading,
later.
Yeah, a year later. It's okay.
Year and a half later.
Like I'm going to remember episode 79 where you guys said, "Oh, this and this," and like I'm really going to remember. But no, I think that what people forget is that the comic book is like that, where there's a lot of time where there's not much going on, but then all of a sudden there's these outbursts.
Sure.
Well, I guess I am your equivalent when it comes to the comic book. I literally sit down and read like 24 issues at a time as the slipcase hardcovers come out. So
and I read it trade. I don't read it single issue. So, what is issue 16 is where I just finished up. Because has the hardcover come out for you yet for the last 2?
No,
that's this month.
The slipcase I don't think it's even been solicited officially in previews yet, has it? The fourth.
Because I know volume 17 is in December.
Well, I know Amazon has a release date for the slipcase hardcover.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, Walking Dead.
Tells you where Charlie's buying his hardcovers, right?
No, it's just flat out. Honestly, Amazon at this point knows more about what's going to be coming out way in advance than we do.
I know.
Well,
I was joking.
The reason
but it bothers me.
The thing with Amazon gets the publication list from the different publishing companies on their schedule. So when we get the solicitation, those are like full artwork, complete list, all this stuff is done. This is the published to get to the store. Places like Amazon and Barnes & Noble and those places get them well in advance because they order through it's kind of a different process, and they have to go to book fairs and they have to get to different managers. For me, it's like, well, it's a one guy, so there you go. It's a lot easier.
And as I said, that's what I do. I come across them on Amazon, and then I scour the previews as I come in going, it's finally in there.
Do you remember the look of those fucking guys that were in jail? I looked through the window, the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah, it's
that was so good.
That's a perfect message to send to a bunch of convicts. It's like, I like that guy, and look what I did.
Cut this fool's leg off. Oh.
Yeah, I'm a cop.
Yeah.
Well, this season, I mean, if they stay fairly true to what happens in the books, this season is going to be real interesting.
If I'm not mistaken, just because it's been a long time since I read that, it appeared to be a lot more people in the jail than there were in their comics.
Well, and they don't fuck around either getting into the jail. Like, I think,
I was...
Last season, it kind of took them a while to do stuff. They're like, nope, set up the jail, first episode, we're in, we're done, we're secure. It's like, oh, that's cool. Well, I mean, it's not done.
They've cleaned out a section of the jail.
Like a block, yeah.
And they introduced some typical concerns in there. But they're doing exactly what they did in the comic in terms of going, okay, we have to get in, we have to fortify it, we have to get them out. And, I mean, I realize I haven't read the last 30 issues of The Walking Dead because the latest hardcover hasn't come out. But in terms of everything they ever did in, The Walking Dead comic thus far that I remember, it's all about the prison and it's all about the governor.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
there's, I can't imagine they've done something to top that for me in the comic, and I'm looking forward to reading more of it. But like, I got to the story arc or two after that in the last hardcover I got. It was still good. I'm enjoying it, but when I
Oh no, continue. I just want
when I saw when they introduced the prison and the way they introduced it and the logic that there was there, it's like everybody who's ever been into zombies and read that book kind of goes, so when the zombie apocalypse comes, I'm going to jail.
So what would have made it better versus the comic version? Why couldn't they make it an all-woman jail?
You just wanted zombie women to be all that
There's
were
going to be
attacking
some
them?
prisoners left over for those moments, those intimate moments.
Well, there's a lot of sex that happens in the prison in the comic book, so I wouldn't be surprised if they.
Oh,
include that
there
in
are so many fucked up scenes in the prison in the comic book.
My girlfriend's niece read all 16 volumes over the summer, and I specifically asked her, I'm like, so did you cry at the prison? And she's like, at the prison? I'm like, yeah, with what happened? She's like, yeah. I was like,
Aw, how old is she?
oh, she's like 13.
Yeah, great.
She's like, yeah, but she's like, when is the next volume coming out? When is the next volume coming out? Yeah. So
Right. Well, we're gonna go and wrap up.
wrap it up.
We'll come back every few episodes to talk about Walking Dead with the aired. Next week we already got a ton of stuff we still got to talk about. Scott Snyder and Jim Lee's Superman.
Whatever.
We got Team 7.
It's not going to save Superman.
Toby wants to talk about Green Arrow. We didn't even talk about Arrow episode 1, so we'll have Arrow episode
And
1
the
and 2.
new trailer
And 2 to
teaser.
talk about. Right, we got the big teaser. We got David Goyer returning to DC for a new big event. We got Guardians.
It's Jeff Johns.
We got Guardians of the Galaxy and Nova. We've got Toby wants to talk about Ape.
GSA,
We didn't
right?
get to talk about Ape.
GSA.
Oh my God, so much
Johnson?
stuff. We'll be back next week to talk.
That's what he's doing with him.
No, initially before.
No talking.
DC.
We'll be back next week to talk about all the stuff. We'll be back next week to talk about this and so much more, depending
Laughing
on.
about giggles.
You too.
Hopefully, nothing happens in the next week in comics because we still have a ton of stuff to cover from this past week. This is what I get. When it rains, it pours. So,
Well, we're starting to get in the big con stuff.
no, we're done with cons. New York was the last
Oh
con
yeah,
of
New
the
York's
year.
the last one, so we're done for a little while. But then
A large part of what amazes me about the amount of news is I for the life of me, I don't remember there ever being quite this much come out in New York.
It just not between that and just all the shows hitting at once and all the Cartoon Network stuff. It's like what? Like, what can any of this happen over the last couple weeks? And we can have much more time to talk about it. But that's fine. We'll talk. We'll talk next week. Plenty more to talk about. If you want to hear this episode again or any other episodes, you can go to www.geekbox.net or comicsconspiracy.biz. That's the site. What? You can hear this episode there. All as well. Go on forums at geekbox.net. You can talk to us there on the forums, talking to different comic forums, comic podcast. Someone's breathing like really heavy into the. What is that noise?
it's the
Some
garbage
sort of
can
Oh,
outside.
garbage guy. It's quiet down, garbage guy. I was like, what is that noise? If you want to visit us, the store, we're in Sunnyvale. I haven't put the store address for a long time. 115-A East Fremont Avenue. You can come say hey if you're ever around in Sunnyvale. We get people pretty regularly stopping in saying they're listeners to this podcast or the Geek Box or anything.
Never asked me for the address. I couldn't tell you.
No,
finally
apparently
learned
no
it,
one
like,
here knows
last year.
apparently no one here knows the phone number either, which I think is really
Oh,
funny.
I have the phone number in my phone at least. I can look it up.
408-245-6275.
I just know the last couple numbers say mask.
They do. Don't. I mean, I guess you can call and harass me if you really want to. I mean,
Yes, please.
not all the time.
Call and
Yes,
ask-
please.
Call and act like a telemarketer.
But if you want to, they'll just hang up on you. I mean, if you want to order something from the store, call us anytime.
Come in Friday, ask for Omar. I'll give you a beer.
Yeah, dude, Omar's here Friday nights.
yeah,
Fridays.
as long as you're of age.
Well, I think.
Yeah, you know what your 12-year-old say? You said you would give us
I
a
don't hang out
beer.
with kids, man. I don't hang out with kids.
You sure
That's
about
the way
that?
I roll. Yes.
So what you're saying is the after hours here is for 21 and older?
Mostly 20.
For the most part, there's like 2 or 3, but
Well, no, I'm
they're
saying
interested.
we need to put a sign on the door that says 21 and older.
Now, if they have a,
Brock is gonna
if they have
come
a
and be a
permission
bouncer.
slip, is that okay?
Well, usually the parents bring them.
Drop them off so you're the babysitter?
But Omar, you're actually not going to be here for the next few weeks, I think.
I'm
right?
going to be here next week, but then I won't be here for 4 weeks because I'll be in Hawaii.
Damn.
Yeah,
Nice.
Hawaii and then Vegas. So
Nice.
damn,
We'll miss you.
I'll miss you guys.
We'll
have
track
to get
on
a-
without you.
I'll
we'll
miss
have to
you,
get a
internets.
replacement.
I won't miss
You know,
it.
maybe what we can do is we can Skype me in.
This computer can barely turn on, let alone do anything else. We'll figure something out. We'll get Bryce to replace you for a few weeks.
Bryce.
We'll put it on the phone and hold you to the microphone.
Yeah. Omar's saying this.
You can tweet in.
Yeah, I could do that too.
But you can continue to do all these wonderful things, as well as you can visit Brock's blog, conspiratorBrock.com. You can visit Omar's website, Comics and Kind. Charlie's other podcast, The Infinite Long Box. Go listen to them. They actually read comic books occasionally.
Lots and lots
so
of
they talk about comic books and Borderlands too. We're all on Twitter. Ryan Higgins, Brock Sager, Comics and Kind, Toby XI, and Insanity in Chaos is Charlie. Go listen to the other podcasts that are on the podcast network, including
because
the
they don't pimp us out. So no, don't listen to them.
Yeah, whatever. Include the Geek Box, Comedy Button,
Bastard
and
Dad.
Good Job Brain, as well as
Black Sheep
Stop Talking.
Sibling.
Stop Talking, as well as All Talk, the comic community, the Geek Box. I'm sorry, community podcast, which is good times. Man, I'm thinking something else. I'm missing something. Go review us on iTunes. We got an iTunes review, 5-star. Said Bryce was awesome. So Bryce, there you go. You got us another 5-star review. I don't know. I'm sure there's more. The Comic Conspiracy.
They're just happy there's someone rooting for Marvel for once.
That's what he said.
You can visit us. You can support us by buying comics through comicsconspiracy.biz/digital.
No, digital.comicsconspiracy.biz.
I don't say it all the time.
So I just tell people to go to comicsconspiracy.biz and click on the top right hand link.
There's that as well. We can pimp out a bunch more stuff, but we're done for now. Actually, I think that's everything. Join us next week. We'll see you next week. We'll talk to you next week. You already got our topic list for next week, so if none of that sounds interesting, I guess don't tune in.
And if we don't adhere to it, send hate mail.
That's what we're going to talk about. So there you go. And maybe something will come up between now and then. We'll talk about some other stuff too. Maybe some comic picks. I got nothing. I don't know. I'm just blabbing now. All right, we're going to wrap up, and we'll see everyone next week.